Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Industry Connect podcast, A Day in the Life. Today we have a special guest from Mercedes-Benz. I have with me Mr. Govindarajan,
Right.
who is a technology professional, has served for more than 19 years in the technology industry. I think 13 plus years with the automotive industry itself, and 5 plus years in aerospace also. He comes from a very humble background, a small town from Tamil Nadu, and he did his engineering, and has crossed multiple barriers to reach where he is today. And I'll tell you the most interesting fact: he holds 14 patents in something known as body in white design. Okay, that's the area he works in, and we will talk to him more to understand what that really means. And he is fluent in German. So welcome, Govind, and
Yeah.
thank you very
Hi.
much for spending time with us.
Yeah, thank you, Chinmay. It's a pleasure to be with you and with Manjunath Hebar. And it's a pleasure for me also to be here.
Fantastic, Govind.
Yeah.
So I think very interesting profile you have here. So let us start, from your early days in terms of why don't you share with us in terms of how what has been your educational background and how was your early journey when you
Yeah.
did your engineering?
Okay, let me start with my school days a little bit so that it will be interesting. So, to start with me, I am the first graduate in my entire generation. So the first one to cross 10th grade in my entire family history. And and I the way I get into engineering itself, it's a beautiful story because when I passed 10th grade, I was supposed to get into the diploma
Mhm.
in engineer, some mechanical or something. Then my uncle told, I was very shocked, saying that okay, he's very short, let him give you some time. So that is how the decision changed. It's a very small town, and why I'm saying this, the decisions are happening at that level, very not having much knowledge in this on those days. And even my 10th grade, I scored around 418 marks. So considering that days out of 500, it is good marks considering maybe I was fifth in my class. So I filled with computer science engineering as my choice of course for my 12th grade. So just because I love playing video games, not more than that. And when I went to the principal, he looked at my score like that. Oh, okay, in government colleges you are able to score this much. So why can't you study doctor? So I'm the only guy. So there is no parent coming behind me saying that okay, you have to choose this. We did in
Mm.
those. It's a small way. So I did my own, and they said, why can't you study biology? You can become a doctor. Okay, you can change it. So this is how I ended
Okay.
up landed in biology, which is not by passion or out of it. So just like that, we joined, and and it's very interesting. Then I started studying biology, and I was jealous about my computer science students because they were able to sit in the AC rooms, and so that's the only time in those days you can visit the AC rooms. We never had a fancy of doing it. So we
Mm.
were sleeping under one room, one fan kind of family. So
Mm.
that was the motivation factor. And so then I finished my engineering with some good marks. So my cutoff was out of 200, it was 194. So that time it
Oh,
was
okay.
very good marks.
Yes.
And so then I never had a choice, saying like I had good colleges that time because you can choose a good college if you have a good marks. But my choice was very simple and for two reasons. One is financial background, and second thing is which is near to my what I can say my school, my home. The college which I studied is just 2-3 kilometers away from my home, so that's the
Okay.
only reason. That's a simple choice, and only thing I had a choice is the mechanical engineering, something which I felt like you can see what is happening and why it is interesting because that time computer science was a hot cake, like
Correct.
more is
Yeah.
they are getting earning more. Somehow I'm not inclined towards it, even though money has a big role to play in my life. But somehow I didn't incline to it. I said to my uncle, because my father never went to school, so he's my guardian and do everything for me. And we went to the what I can say that day we went to Madurai. That's where the counseling will happen. and my counseling happened in 5 minutes. That's all together. No juggling, no choice of college. And we went and sat in the counseling. It's a big counseling. It looks like a stock market when people are choosing these colleges. Then Warwick happened in 5 minutes. Went there. I said the college name with a code number. There is a code for it. And then I said, he gave me a list of these are the courses available. You could choose whatever you want because your marks are good. I said, no worry, mechanical engineering. Done. 5 minutes. Finished. And within an hour, we are out, out of the campus. And my uncle also didn't tell anything. Okay, whatever you want to do it. And this is one part. And the second part is also getting into engineering. So it's like so in my village, that's maybe I'm the second highest mark in that time. So my parents were telling I will not be able to afford it to go to engineering college. So that time my engineering fees was around 15,000 per year, and that was not affordable for me. Also, you can imagine my situation. So my father was telling, okay, I may not be able to afford to send you into college. Then uh, my mother's brother, so my uncle, he gave the confidence because he was the one educated in their family. So went to uh, to the work in outside the my village. So he gave the confidence. If you are not able to pay the fee, I will pay it as a loan. So you don't need to worry. Then somehow my father managed to send me to the college without any money
Okay.
issues. Somehow we
Okay.
managed to send it. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
journey.
that's interesting. That's interesting. So tell me about so after you like finished your engineering, what were you thinking? You had some placements there. How did you get into your job scenario and professional working?
Yeah, to be honest, I never had such a dream like I want to join the Fortune 500 companies and these things. So only thing I had is okay, we have to be prepared. So that I have done. When we don't know how to apply for a job, all those things we don't know. So it's a small town. One of my uncle who is into some Tata company in some
Hmm.
good position. So through my relative, he said, okay, give me your resume and then I will send it to you. Then that's how he arranged my interview. Then send his resume. Even to modify the resume, I don't know. Means we are not professionals, and that there's no computers, and you have to go to the computer center to edit it, and you have
Yeah,
to pay
yeah.
money, all those stuff. And then I went to my senior, and I sat with him saying that I don't know how to do it. Can you help me out? And he helped me out, and with a very good resume he prepared, and then I sent it. And then I got a call for the interview, and I just still remember my first call from the HR. And I thought it's a prank call. First, when the HR called, because then I recognize, okay, this is the HR calling from some big company. Then because why I'm saying, so those days very rare to get a call from such a big companies because I forgot totally saying that okay, I gave my resume and so on. So that's how I landed with my first interview into
Hmm.
some Tata Advanced Media Limited.
So what was your kind of role that you took that time?
I started as a design engineer that time.
Okay.
So it's a very good company and very good learning opportunity for me also those days. And I
Hmm.
had a very good boss. My first boss, he is an IITian by BTech
Hmm.
IITian. So and he is very helpful and at the same time very strict also. And my core job is to design as well as a first part you have to make sure that the first part is ready for your customer capability. Then you have to give the process engineering to the shop floor colleagues. So that was my first job which I took.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting. So how did you find? So when you are in engineering college, we are into like a lot of theoretical learning and subjects is there. When
yeah,
you get into a job, you see the things differently, right? So
yeah.
help us understand like what was your experience when you just out of college and getting into the job?
I'll tell you my interview. Still, it's fresh in my mind because it's my first interview with. Luckily, I got a crack in the first interview itself. Um, so he was asking me to draw first angle projection in the
Okay.
engineering drawing, so people knows it. So generally, we do third angle projection. So nobody does first
Okay.
angle projection. It's very rare. So
Okay.
he asked me to draw it. Luckily, I have some good experience with the engineering drawing. I did it. So then the next question was to me is okay. Can you write the adiabatic equation for a natural gas?
Okay.
I write
Okay.
P raised to gamma is equal to
Okay.
1.4. Still,
Okay.
I remember. He asked me what is 1.4. So I said CP by CB. That's a constant if you radiate it. Okay. Still, I remember
Mm-hmm.
those values. Then he said, well, then can you derive it? Because he is like,
Okay.
can you derive it? I said, sorry, I don't know. Because to that extent, they were going,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
the interview was little tough. So to say, and luckily, I had a project which is very close to their requirement, like
Mm-hmm.
industrial project. So that was the time.
Okay.
I have to say thankful to my friends because those days copying projects or buying projects from somebody else is a famous stories. And
Okay.
luckily, none of my friends encouraged it, and me too. We did on our own, and we went to a Tutukurin thermal power plant. It is in
Mm-hmm.
which is in Tutukurin. So we went
Mm-hmm.
there and we stood with them and we did all the work by ourselves. Okay, we did take some inspiration from a earlier case study, and then we
Mm-hmm.
did all our own calculations, own derivations, and own suggestions. And actually,
Very
it
good.
helped. Okay, so that is what I used to suggest to our people. It doesn't matter how small you are doing in your own project, do it on your own. Then it gives you a lot of confidence when you're presenting to someone.
Correct.
So he asked me a lot of tough questions from there because I had that project report also with me because some of my
Mm-hmm.
seniors told you bring your report also with
Mm-hmm.
you so that it will be
Mm-hmm.
helpful. And he opened the report and literally asked me the questions from there. And I'm sure if you don't do your project on your own, you
Exactly. Yeah.
will be able to
You
explain
cannot
because
answer those.
they know it how to crack you.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So excellent point. I think you have to be genuine, right? You
Yeah,
have to be genuine and you need to know that, have that knowledge also. So
right.
excellent.
So
I think
was
that's a very good start for you.
yeah. So those days, a lot of my friends used to do it within the college. They used to do some CAD modeling and they do some simulation
Mm,
and within that stuff. And luckily, my tutor also encouraged. My guide mentor is also encouraged. Don't do within the college. Go out, explore the
mm,
industry. That is where this is the only chance you can get the help and you can see what is the world around it. So
mm,
that was really helped because that is the first time we are meeting professionals and how do they
mm.
behave, how do they work, and you get to know a lot of things, not only technical, a lot of things, how the things works. So your network will also increase. I would encourage you go out and you do a small portion, it's fine, but do it on your own.
Excellent, excellent. So tell us now, Govind, from that point, like almost like what, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
to where you are today, how
Mhm.
has your journey been? Give us a brief on that journey from that point onwards to where to MBRDI.
Okay, so 2.5 years I worked in this company, and then my second company move was not a very planned one because I'm not a very calculative person by saying, and it wasn't like an accident, I would say. So we planned to go for a supplier visit that day, and one of my purchaser means the tooling supplier. We used to go to the tooling supplier to see the tooling status and all. So that time we visited Whitefield in Bangalore, and I came with the supplier, not supplier, my our purchasing guy. He said there is an opening available in this company. That time it's Goodrich Aerospace. Okay, I'm going to go for that interview. Would you like to come with me? Yes, I said okay, go. And then started entering into the campus and he said they didn't allow me because it's a walk-in interview. So you have to have a resume to get in. So otherwise they'll not let you in. So just to go with him, I took a resume printout and then I went with him. Then I found that when I went inside, then I started attending the interview. It was very fascinating. And it was the
Mm,
kind of profile what they explained me. I really moved by that. Okay, like the kind of technology, the kind of work they are going to do, and they briefed me, and I realized that okay, my practical skills were very useful there. So that's how I ended up
okay.
in the second company. And there
Mm,
I also
interesting.
had a 2.5 years journey with them and different experience because it's an US based company. And then
Correct.
met a lot of, developed a lot of friends and colleagues and had a chance to work with a lot of inspirational people like Krish Chilukure, one of the Indian guy, but he's a
Mm,
manager there, very inspirational person. And that's how I started worked there. And 3 years later, I saw an opportunity in Mercedes-Benz. That time they were working on some composite fibers and other things. So with that competency, I was able to get into this job in Mercedes in
So,
2011, I guess.
so I think from like last 10 years plus, you have been with Mercedes in Bangalore.
13 plus, yeah.
So, what is your work profile here in Mercedes?
I work for my body in white design and development. Basically, lightweight material is my core competence. So basically, if you take nowadays the electric vehicle, the weight is a huge playing factor for your mileage or the range extension. So my profile is to reduce the weight. That is one of my part of work. And second thing, nowadays what we are doing is called LCM. That's a life cycle management, which is to manage the hardware development of the vehicles.
Hmm.
So that is what we are doing it now.
Hmm. So, help us understand. You talked about body in white. What does
Yeah.
that really mean, and what is the terminology all about?
Okay. It's a skeleton of a vehicle. Okay. So you of a car, okay, your body is what you see outside is a styling, okay, like a
Right.
human styling. But your
Uh,
bones is actually a structural member. When you crash with something, your bones is actually a load carrying member, and it will
hmm.
keep your internal organs safe. Okay,
Correct.
so in simple nutshell, that is it. Okay, and we have a zone which is called your safe zone where you are driving your vehicle, right? That's A pillar, P pillar, C pillar they call. So
Okay.
that's the area where the passenger has to be protected, and the rest of the components has to deform for the humans inside to be safe. So that is my job is to make sure that the passenger who's driving the vehicle or whoever is inside the vehicle is safe
Hmm.
and comfort. So that is my role.
So, on a day-to-day basis, so I understand that broadly this is what you do, but like on a day-to-day basis, how does your typical day at work look like?
So till my 5-10 years of experience, so you will be doing the hands-on, like your design, development. We work with the NX, Siemens NX software. So day in, day out, my focus of work will be on the design and development of
Design.
components. So
Okay.
now when moved into the next level position, then you'll have a team of people, then you have to manage them and you have to get the
Hmm.
work done through the colleagues and you have to interact with a lot of stakeholders
Hmm.
with the plant suppliers and with your management team. So this is my core day-to-day work. So nowadays, if you see, all my days will goes in meetings. So then you make sure that your team is delivering and to guide the young team members so to get into speed. So that is how my typical day will go on.
Okay. So give us a brief about how you got into, filing those 14 patents. What is that story all about? And uh, how do young engineers today should think about patents and innovation?
Okay. So it's a very interesting story also for me to start the patent filing because it is not, I would say, not started as an inspiration or I would say out of I wanted to file patent like pulling the sleeves, not like that. Initially, it started with some inspiration from my company. So they said they have given a lot of priority to the patents. So that is how I started into
Okay.
it. Then,
Hmm.
then when so the initial days there are myths, no, like only patent can be filed by highly experienced people, and who is having a diverse experience only can do it. So that is a myth we had, and saying that okay, it's not my cup of coffee. Why to try it in first place? So
Okay.
that's how we left it for 1 year. Maybe the program was started in 1 year back, but we didn't do anything much. Then one of my friend,
Hmm.
he's we were working together. He said, "Hey, you looks like you work with different materials. Why can't we try?" That's how we started. Means the new materials, the material knowledge. We started with
Hmm.
composite materials on the filing patterns. Then that is was the triggering moment. Then we tried with some material, some manufacturing process, how we can do it in a different way. That got filed. That was my first inspiration. So I learned that unless you try something, you don't know whether you're capable to do it or not. First thing you try, failing is not a problem. Okay. And when you give a try, that's my first patent took almost 1.5 years. Then after a
So
year,
why don't you tell us about what that patent is all about? What it's a little bit of technical info can you
it's
give?
an it's a composite panel which will protect the your secondary coil. That's an induction charger module, so that will protect
Okay.
that is used to call. So nowadays you are doing the charging with the plugs, right? I mean, with the
Ah,
charger. So
right.
this is all about your wireless charge. When you move the car near to the floor, you have a primary coil in the floor and the secondary coil in the car. Okay, so when you move above that, so it will automatically get charged. Okay, so you don't need to plug. So that is
Very
a
nice.
thing which they had. So initially they had the metal concept, which is metal by its own nature. It's a ferromagnetic material. So it will
Mm,
interfere with your magnetic waves and it will cut off your
mm,
waves and it will generate eddy current plus your, what I can say, heat. So to
mm.
avoid that, we've come up with a new material concept. Okay, with the composite materials, basically your glass fibers are transparent or it will never interact with your magnetic waves. So that is
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
introduce this material and
Mm,
how to integrate these things is our idea. Okay, this is the way we can
very
integrate.
nice.
So the
Okay.
beauty is because it's the bottommost vehicle part in the car. So when it is hit in the road, it's a very expensive part. So it
Correct,
has to be
correct.
protected. At the same time, you can't put a metal at the bottom because it will interfere with the waves.
Interfere.
So that is a problem they had, and they try to reinforce with some plastic reinforcements, like just a simple increasing the thickness. That doesn't work.
Mm.
Yeah. So to put it in perspective, Tesla had a titanium alloys to protect it, and it is very
Oh,
expensive.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tesla tried with the titanium. The
Okay.
reason is it's very expensive, and if there is a small obstacles like a stone, like when the stones are there, like a big stones, then it got stuck in the vehicle, then it can
Yeah,
damage the whole
yeah.
charging system. It's very, very
Okay.
expensive.
So is your solution now in being used?
Sorry.
Is the solution you proposed being used today?
So this technology itself, it is not used in the car now. It stopped for cost reasons. Okay, this they try to introduce into this market, but it was stopped because of cost reasons.
Cost reasons. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So
And one
tell me.
one good thing I would say, one of we filed around three patents, and one of the patents, and it's an interesting story because we filed the patent, then we left it, and one of the PhD student, and he took it as a this idea, and he developed as a prototype, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
still made, and he made a PhD out of it. And then when I visited Germany, he took me for a treat. Okay, and we had a nice dinner, and he didn't tell me anything. Then he showed me that. Do you know what it is? He showed me in his phone.
Mm.
It looks like something I worked on, but I don't know really. It's your innovation idea. We just realized as a pattern, and then it was a feel good factor for me on that day. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So to see your patterns in real
Yeah.
time, right?
Real
So
life.
how it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
integrated, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
he did doctorate out of it.
Oh,
That
okay.
was a
Fantastic.
real point for me, and we don't know he was doing and these things we don't know. Once he completed, he was showing
Yes.
to us.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
either it's a random invite to me, and then when he showed me after the dinner, I was okay, interesting.
Very interesting. So, tell me some more stories, right? You have 14 patents. So how long, over what period of time you have filed, right? Like how long does
It's
it take really to file such patents? Or can it be
it's
small things or it has to be like a big solution?
no, it will be small. Okay, the pattern is like you don't need to think big. Okay, think small. Okay, and you file it in your core areas, which you know
Hmm.
very well, because you can't file a pattern which is not your core areas. Like say tomorrow, if I want to file a pattern in the embedded system, sorry, I can't do it. And try to focus
Hmm.
on your core areas and core strength. Okay, that is
Hmm.
important. They say it's the circle of competence. No, it's not doesn't matter how much you know. It is how depth you know that is makes your pattern more valuable and easy to crack and easy to convince people, because the most challenging point in making a patent is convincing your first line of defense, that is your patent review system, which is we have a very stringent review system,
Yes, yes.
and to crack it, it is not so easy. So you have to
Hmm.
have the conviction to say what you feel that it is a valuable idea. So otherwise, it will never cross to the next stage. You may have a
Right.
beautiful idea, but you don't know how to pitch in, and you don't know how to convince the next level of your managers or the patent filing experts, then you'll have a biggest problem.
Hmm.
And second thing is, most of the time when you file patents, there will be always chances of rejection. I will not say rejection. there will be some similar ideas will be existing, right? So then you have to defend your
Okay.
idea. Okay. So
Different.
that defense is the highest thing. Okay. Then for that, you need to know why it is very novel. The
Hmm.
novelty factor plays a huge role. Unless you
Right.
don't know the topic well, you can't define your novelty. Somebody from the different industry can easily kill you. So good to know that
Hmm.
what is your competency, focus on that. And even some of my patents is from actually from aerospace industry. It's I work for a different application,
Right.
and
Right. Okay.
I took that as an inspiration and I introduced that ideas here. So that work wonders.
Perfect. Very nice. So, you are also fluent in German, right? So how did that happen, and why did you choose to pursue that?
I choose to pursue that because it is mandatory to complete A2 in German companies. So they gave me free
Okay.
training. Okay, so they started
Okay.
with that, and we had a nice trainer, in-house trainer, and that is how I started with Germans and German training. And somehow we started doing the A1 and A1 level and A2. So they have A1 to C1 level, 6 levels.
Okay.
So I did my A2. Then after that I didn't do anything. After 1 2 years I didn't do anything. Then I did my B1 in Germany when I visited Germany. And
Okay.
so in German the biggest thing is not clearing the exam. It is speaking is very difficult. So especially with technical German, it's like
Right. Right.
very
Right.
difficult to speak the technical German. So how did I learn this? By I had a chance, when one of my counter partner, he has to go for a training for 4 to 5 weeks, and then at that time I had the chance to be there in Germany, and he told me that, can you take up this role where I am going for a training? You have to take up the complete role ownership of me. So what does it mean is I have to go to a meeting, I have to listen to them, and I have to respond. That is
Okay.
that is a level. All happens in German. And
Oh
I had
wow.
a little understanding. I can understand what they're talking a little bit, okay, but not may not
Hmm.
connect my complete thing. And that's how I forced to learn. Like that 4 weeks is like an intensive course training for me. So I used to
Oh
listen to them
wow.
and I used to take a note. And then whenever I didn't understand something, and then I approached the people like, okay, tell me what happened. This is my understanding. Is that my understanding correct? So that's how. So to my goodness, he gave after 5 weeks he came up with a beer. So in Germany, it's you can allow to drink non-alcoholic kind of beer in office. So he came up with a beer and with a note saying that, okay, I thrown into a well. I thought you will drown. Somehow came across. Very good job. Then that is my recognition saying that, okay, I can survive. So
Hmm.
that he
Interesting.
gave me the confidence, and his name is Sebastian Rothenberg. I would have to say big thank to him, and he gave me a lot of confidence on that. And he started speaking to me in German, and then he gave me one beautiful word. I still remember, like, you think of like my English is worse than your German. So you
Okay.
think of like that. So not
Hmm.
his. He speaks well, but
Hmm.
the others you can say. So
Got it.
you think
Got
in
it.
this way, okay? Then your
Hmm.
perspective will completely change.
Right.
Okay, then you start putting your own effort to learn the new language. So everything will start with the baby step. It's like you cross some certain barrier, then you will start speak well. Even for that sake, why to tell German? My English was very bad. I never attended any of the English classes just because I can't speak English. Because I
Hmm.
studied my whole 12th standard in Tamil. Means
Oh
um,
wow.
even even my first semester, the only subject I thought I will pass for sure is the mathematics, because
Hmm.
that has a less English. Okay, and luckily I passed everything. Um, and because I don't know English, literally, because even the 12th grade essays we used to by heart and write it. So that is our English knowledge, because we don't have a specialized English teacher or whatever it is. We speak always in our mother tongue and studied in other things. So that's the best thing also I would say, because I understood the concept, even though uh, because my teachers were good and I was able to grasp my ideas very well. Even I love
Hmm.
for physics and the science is coming from my teachers, and you can easily able to correlate what you study, because
Hmm.
you when you
Okay.
study mother tongue it's easy to grasp ideas.
Hmm.
Okay, so then when I joined my engineering, what I did is I have a big dictionary. That there is no mobile to search anything, so you have to have a dictionary. And what I did is I have my 12th grade book in Tamil and a 12th grade book because this it's same in the both board.
Oh,
So it's the
okay.
same. So I study because I know well in Tamil. So I start reading that and underline it, and I start write equivalent meaning of Tamil in near to that in
Oh,
my holidays. Okay, that is before I start my engineering because I know that I will not have time. So I
hmm,
start preparing myself like that. Okay, so that time when I at least went to the college, I had little amount of English knowledge because that's the first time I'm hearing something happening completely in English. When till
hmm.
that time, completely in my mother tongue,
Right, right, right.
and then half of the subjects, even I remember nothing. I can't understand anything. But I
Hmm.
had good friends who used to support me and used to tell me what is the concept and other. That is how I approached it. That's an
So
interesting story.
how did you pick English? How did you get better in English?
Okay, it started when I after I came to Bangalore, and
Okay.
okay, even my interview also I was not so confident. Like what you see here now, my initial
Hmm.
days not so good. It's very basic English. Um, since it's a metropolitan, I have a very good roommates, different diverse people, and all are software engineers in a small room, and they
Right.
used to communicate to me in English,
Okay.
even though we are from the same hometown,
Okay.
and we used to talk in English, and that will be
Okay.
fun. Okay, so when you learn this way, right, you don't feel fear that time. Okay,
Excellent.
even in my first company, still shy, little shy in the sense. Okay, not it's not about shyness because of my character, because of the language. Okay, I felt like okay, can I talk or like very little, so that way I start
Hmm.
conversing. But I would say my friends has gave the liberty and to speak. Okay, let's fail, and that's one of the beautiful thing about my roommates, I would say. They gave me the freedom, and they used to speak very well English. Okay, because
Hmm.
they were here for more than 3 4 years, and they were
Okay.
used to speak very well. Then they gave me confidence, and even in school, small things they used to talk, and that's how I break the barrier. Okay, that's for 6 months, and even Kannada also. I can speak very well Kannada.
Oh, wow. So you have a talent with languages here.
Somehow I can. I'm good at learning languages. So that started. That's because I have to get the work done from the shop floor people, and they don't
Hmm.
speak much English, and
Correct.
they don't speak Tamil also either. Then I started speaking, and I don't speak Hindi for that sake, and that also helped because and whoever knows the Hindi as their language, they don't speak the native language. So it's very hard. Because it's
Hmm.
like fitness for survey. Like you have to speak. So
You
that
have
is
to
how we
speak.
ended
Yeah.
up in learning Kannada. And Kannada is very easy. Like it's very much
Hmm.
most like my mother tongue. So I picked up
Okay.
very well. In maybe I would
Very
say
good.
8 months, I was little very fluent with German, Kannada.
Fair enough. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So, give me an instance like, where there was some significant professional challenge that you faced, whenever, any instance that you can recount right now, and how you were able to like overcome or bypass it.
So I would say we had a challenge like one of this part, whatever I said, the charging module, that fiber
The
reinforced
patent
plastic
one.
halter, which we designed. And my counter partner was asking for a design fixture for it. Okay, and he was looking for outside. Okay, can I give it to the external vendor to do it?
Mm,
Then without telling him, okay, we made a proposal to him saying that okay, we didn't inform him anything. So when I made the concept design and I showed him that, he was really impressed, saying that okay, can you give me a try? Okay, then I made all
mm.
those things and other things. Then I gave him. It's like first shot clear.
Oh,
He was saying,
very
okay,
nice.
it's very nice design, and he didn't do any review. Just straight away went to the production, and he did the testing. And when it was ready, by the time I was happened to go to Germany, then we witnessed the testing in live, and he said
Oh, okay.
that saved a lot of money because it's like free of cost, no, for them,
Correct, correct. Yes.
and that was also one of the
Oh,
technical
that was a
challenge
great
because I was
technical.
from the manufacturing industry earlier, and I was kind of a tool designer, right? So this
Mm.
helped, and so basically, some of the skills which you think that okay, I don't know where I'm going to use it, it will help you in some of the days if you learned it very well.
Yeah,
So that
that's
helped.
fantastic. That's fantastic. So over this period, no, your industry would have evolved. So right now you are in automotive and the field you are working in. Uh, uh, can you help us understand what is happening in this field? What are the changes you see are happening?
Okay. So big changes and big challenges going ahead also. So like the automotive industry is going in a tremendous pressure situation, I would say, because of the electrification. And you see the major OEMs, all the OEMs, China is the biggest market for everyone. And now the Chinese companies are coming up with very aggressive pricing and very good quality products. So that puts a
Mm.
lot of pressure into the most of the German OEMs, even US OEMs. Everybody is under pressure. Okay, so that's the thing happening. So what they are trying to come up with the alternative concepts, better pricing plans, but nothing can beat their kind of pricing and the aggressive strategy. So this is the biggest turnaround, and now everybody is looking at alternative market, IC engines. Still, it is not going the right way. So electric is the future. So you charge it by plug or some other means. So battery will be
Mm.
there for sure. So now this is the time to embrace in a different way. You have to challenge them with a now it's like people looks to see the mobile on wheels. That is how the perception changed to the young
Okay.
generation. So, like the branded cars like BMW, Mercedes, so it's all has a rich history, and then
Mm.
so they are known for the engines, right? So it's like your
Mm.
heart. So the
Correct.
heart is changed, like basically it's replaced with your electric motors, and
Correct.
now the playing field is equal. So everybody is
Mm.
equal, and whoever is um, coming with a better battery, they will be the winners. So this is just
Mm.
to give an example, like now you have a car with 20 kilometer per liter as a mileage. Now I'm coming with a new car which will give you 25 kilometer per liter. Then you are the winner. So simple
Mm.
to put it. So something like if somebody comes with this like tomorrow solid state battery and they give a range of 1,000 kilometers with the same pricing,
Yes.
then they are the winners and they will
Right.
cleanly sweep away the rest of your competitors. And for the OEMs also, it is very difficult to invest in one what I can say, the technology, because you don't know which way it will going to get a turn. So
Mm.
that is the biggest challenge industry is facing towards now. Yeah.
So what
So
should the young guys who are in engineering colleges right now getting into, maybe will be getting into industry in year or two, or maybe even currently joining the industry, what advice you would give to them, like how they should be thinking to face these challenges and how they can build their careers, what skills they should be having?
and so I would say this the fantasy words like AI, ML, or digitalization, all those things are happening around, and in
Right.
India, everybody is moving towards it. So my personal opinion is slightly different. Okay, if you're really interested or passionate about it, doing it, follow it. But don't think that because of AI and we replace everything tomorrow will be software. I don't think so. I have a difference of opinion. So if you're really interested in doing something, mechanical engineering, whatever it is, the basic engineering, you do it. And then you're really interested in doing the rest of your research in some other particular areas, do specialization in masters. Okay. Don't try to do one course like artificial intelligence in engineering course for 4 years. So it is not necessary. Okay, do your basic
Mm.
engineering, get into a hands-on work in your earlier career and stay there for some good years, gain your knowledge, because when you're out
Mm.
of college, I can correlate myself because I look back, I was like empty minded, I would say, even though I thought that I have a very good theoretical knowledge, but nothing will help out. Maybe it will help out in understanding some of your basic principles, nothing more than that.
Mm.
So it's good to start with some core or very unique areas and develop your core competency there and then
Mm.
stick around it. Okay, don't feel fear the pressure of okay, this will grow up, that will grow up. I can give you an example, like when I joined this company, Tata, I did my SAP course. That time SAP was a hard cake. To give an
Okay.
example, so my salary was around 10,000 that time. Okay, so the
Mm.
equal amount of experienced guys, they will get around 30,000 at that
Right.
time. So it's a
Mm.
hard cake,
Mm.
and
Mm.
it's easy to get a job in Bangalore. That time, if you have a SAP degree from some
Mm.
certification from from the institute, then you'll get a job. So me and my friend had very fascinated about that, and we started, and we realized that okay, when I started doing learning of data, that course, that didn't fascinate me.
Mm.
Somehow I felt not connected. They are doing something in the back end, and I realized it's a kind of support role. Because the
Mm.
kind of work what I was doing is like a hands-on. You get
Correct,
to
correct.
interact with the people, and that connect was not there. Then I didn't even go for the interview. I still have the
Okay.
certificate. I didn't go for the interview. They were saying it's a campus confirmation. So my
Right,
salary
right,
was
right.
10,000. I was paying the fees of 25,000 that time.
Oh, okay.
That is the fees, no. But I said no, I don't go because I thought it is only for money. But then I thought the job also will be challenging or something
Mm.
intuitively or I can connect with. Nothing connected, and I said okay, not required. Then stayed back with that, and I would say that's a good decision. And it helped me. And still, I would say whatever I learned in my beginning of my career, it's still with me, and it is still helping me.
Mm. So how do you think mechanical? So mechanical is a core engineering skill, right? So and guys who are, let's say, getting or coming out from mechanical right now, uh, how do you think this whole AI ML stories are affecting this field?
You should know. You should never embarrass, or you should never say I won't learn it. I would say I'm also doing a course in Udemy, right? So there is a course I'm doing it. Almost 30% I'm completing it. You do it. It's not that I don't encourage not to do it, but decide whether it is really going to be impact, because unless you don't know, you don't know whether it will impact you or not. Okay, for sure it will have an impact for in every industry in AI and ML. Okay, it's not that it will not leave you untouched. No, it will touch you, but you know that what is it, and if you're really fascinated, then go into it in deep. If not, you know what it can do. That's enough,
Mm.
because the rest all I feel I try with a lot of chat GPTs and
Mm.
prompt engineering. I completed in LinkedIn. That's good enough. I think it is giving you most of the answers what you want. And the Python also I tried. Then I was learning
Mm.
starting now, just to know that okay, if something is happening in this area, if somebody is
Mm.
coming with an idea, then I can at least understand what is it. So that is the logic behind. So core engineering will always be there. So it will never vanish. Okay, so
Mm.
never fell prey to that. Okay, software is the only code software, and most of the things I also look at my friends who moved into a different career, right? So different
Mm.
domain, and some of them are happy and some of them are not, because they ended up in doing something which is not to their close to their heart. So
Right, right.
if you want to be in an industry, so you have to stay close to the domain which you are interested in, really. So
Mm.
that will help you in the long run. Maybe in the short run, it will give you some money and the pleasure, but in the long run, it is very difficult to stick to it.
I understand. So I understand that now you have your own small team. So I want hear from you, like when you are hiring guys, maybe you have
Yeah.
some freshers or some few years experience guys. What is it that you are looking for? What kind of qualities? Technical, non-technical, everything. But so that this is like a question which help students to prepare themselves.
So my philosophy is this: hire for attitude, train for skill. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the only thing. So it applicable until 5 years. I consider from graduate GET to the five
Mm.
years. So I treat like that, because, and in Mercedes, I would say not only me, most of my colleagues who are all hiring, they look
Mm.
for the engineering basics. So the philosophy is very simple. If you know the basics, you know the building blocks, we can build it.
Mm.
Because
Right.
anyhow, the technology or the kind of thing, whatever you are going to do, will be something new from you, new for you, and we have to teach you, and we have to train you to upskill you, unless you come up with a bright idea which we never thought of. I would say
Mm.
95 to 98% will fall into the category. So
Mm.
you know your engineering well. When I say know your engineering well, if when I cross question you, you should be able to answer it. So the
Mm.
basic simple question I used to ask, this is a very simple question I used to ask: stress strain diagram in engineering. That's a basic thing.
Okay.
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 So you can simply draw a curve and you can simply explain from the textbook answer. But
Okay.
unless you don't, then the next question from my side will be little trick. Unless you don't understand the engineering basics, you will not be able to answer it.
Okay.
And it will be very basic. Even the way I remember my hiring process in Mercedes also. One of my German E4, I mean, manager only hired. Those all engineering basics, nothing fantasy.
Mm.
Very
Mm.
simple questions, but I understood the importance of basics because basics, then I can teach you, but I can't teach you from the basics. That is virtually impossible. So
Excellent.
know your
Okay.
basics, and communication is very important because you have to work with a lot of people across world, right? So communication
Mm.
plays an important role. When I say communication, it's not about the fluency of English. Okay, it's about how clearly you are communicating your thought. Okay,
Mm.
it can be written. Okay, it can be written. It can be how you say the words. So that matters. So in interview process also, we look how clearly you are communicating. If you don't know the answer, you say no instead of beating around the bush saying that okay,
Mm.
can it be this way? Can it be
Better
that
can
way?
get that.
No, I frankly tell to the interview my people saying that if you don't know the answer, you say comfortably, I don't know. We can skip to the no, next
Mm.
question.
Mm.
So our philosophy is simple. When you say 10 no's and one yes, that one yes is valid. Either
Mm.
reverse way, I don't trust. So if you say 10 yes and only
Okay.
one no, I catch hold of you. I say, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Be
Okay.
genuine with your,
Interesting.
because we are trying to hire you for what you know. That's all. Very simple. Have that in your
Mm.
mind and prepare for the interview. So nobody's expecting you to be a 100 answer everything possible. Then only we no, not like that. We know it
Mm.
because we also come just like even I know my interview because I didn't answer every
Right.
questions which my interview had asked. So I answered few questions and five, and I still remember I was very genuine with my answer. When I don't know, I say I don't know. Sorry. So that I think
Excellent.
really
Excellent.
helped. So be little honest with you whatever you know, and that the other side is also a human. That's it. And just understand from his perspective, then your thoughts will be very clear.
Excellent. Excellent, Govind. So I think, guys, I think you heard. I think if I have to put a gist of what Govind hinted about, I think in his conversation, I think few things are standing out very, very clearly. One, if you look at this conversation, one thing that has stand out is, no, you have to be simple and you have to be genuine. And I think that message, I think that has come up again and again in different ways. And you can, through the instances that Govind has quoted, you will realize the importance of exactly being that, and how you don't need to really unnecessarily go on impressing people. Just be genuine with your knowledge, and others will simply appreciate what you have to offer. So, and that is, I think, a very good basic message. And a second important thing, I think, which Govind also talked about, was innovation. He himself is having 14 patents. If you are carrying excellent basic core knowledge, you will be able to build on it. And with your experience, when you connect the dots and figure out ways of applying that knowledge, you will come up with new innovative ideas which will be patentable. And that will add invaluable value to like your resume and your profile and your experience overall.
Yeah. So talking about innovation, it's a good thing that you join with the people who you don't know, especially with your
Mm,
difference of okay, thinking process from yours. So
right.
that is the best thing. When we started, like it's a random team, like we know, but not like a close working allies, and with have different skill sets. So do
Yeah,
that way because when you have the like-minded, you'll never get innovate. There's somebody has to cross-question you, which is basically challenging your basic assumption.
perfect.
That is the important thing.
That is
Try
important.
with somebody who is differently from your different industry and learn from the other industry and learn from the nature. So one classical example I used to tell my junior colleagues. So the Japan train, right? The bullet trains when they invented. So they
Mm,
had a very peculiar problem when this enter into a tunnel, right? At that high
mm,
speed, that pressure was so huge it will create a bomb sound, like because the air has to push out, right? That speed
right, right.
because it's like a piston, cylinder piston. You can
Uh,
imagine,
uh,
no? When
Correct.
the train is going slow, it's not a problem. And those days, you know this the front areas, right? It's not like curvy like what you see nowadays. The
Okay.
tips. So it used to create a lot of boom sound and it creates a lot of back pressure under this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and the nose design was inspired from a nature. The
Mm,
kingfisher bird.
Right,
When it
right.
hunts into the water, right, it has to enter
Ah,
into the water without making any sound. Otherwise, the
hmm.
fish will go run away, right?
Good. Hmm.
So what they studied is you look at the kingfisher nose and this bullet train nose, it's same, dicto, 100% matching. Actually, it was the design engineer who was out of ideas. He went to photograph that time, and that time he realized how it
Yes.
works. Then that's how
Okay.
they ended up in this idea. Even for this, Apple oligo, this coating, right? This when
Hmm.
you the fingerprint coat, the finger with oil, nothing will happen in the uh, iPhone screen. That's also from a tree, actually. That inspired from
Okay.
the tree, actually. That when you put water, oil, nothing will stick on that. So they
Oh,
take
okay.
that as inspiration, and then they did the back calculation
This.
how we can do it. So a lot of things.
Okay.
Mostly,
Interesting.
the the nature teaches you very well. So if you watch this very closely, you can get inspired a lot.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, Govind, I think we are run out of time now. But
Sure.
that was a very interesting conversation. I think we touched upon your journey and we also touched upon various aspects of your journey. So, first of all, thank you so much for spending time and very candidly sharing your experiences with us. I think all the nuggets and experiences that you have shared, I think will provide invaluable guidance to guys who are shaping their careers right now. And I
Mm.
hope that all of you who are watching this episode will be able to draw some valuable nuggets of experiences from this. Thank you, Govind. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you,
Just hold
Chinmay,
on.
and yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah, go ahead, go
Chinmay,
ahead.
and yeah, and thank you, Hebar. So it was really an inspirational journey with you when you came to Mercedes Benz, and it was a pleasure working together with you. And actually, it gave me a lot of confidence in terms of the entrepreneurship skills and other things. And still a motivation factor. Still, when I look back, whenever I saw him in the office, you both, and it's really a treat, and it's a pleasure for me. Somehow my energy is getting up when I'm seeing Manjunath, Manjunath and you both.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
thank you for
that's
this
kind of you.
opportunity. And if I get a chance to inspire one person also, I'll be very happy. And if there are more to contribute, I'll be more than happy to do it because this is the one thing which is close to my heart. If I can inspire one, at least I'll be more than happy to live my life. That's how I say it.
Perfect. That is very nice thought. And thank you for your kind words.
Yeah.
That's great.